Hello, Gemma here, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful macrame plant hanger that would look beautiful in your home or as a gift. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to cut 6 lengths of cord, and they need to be 3 meters each. So as you can see, I've got 6 lengths here, and what I'm doing is I'm just finding the middle of those cords. So I'm putting the ends both together so I know exactly where the middle of the cord is. And that's the part that's going to go through your ring. So as you can see, I'm just going to pop that through the ring there. So you've got 1.5 meters each side of your ring. Okay, so just make sure that all your cords are lined up nice and neatly on your ring. Just makes it look nice and neat for your plant hanger. And the first knot we're going to do today is the gathering knot. So you need a piece of string that's about 100 centimeters long. It doesn't quite have to be that long, but I like to have a lot of length so that I can make a nice long knot. So I'm lining the string up against the hoop and putting 3 fingers round and then catching that little loop that I've made in my fingers. And then literally all we do is we start wrapping it round, and you can wrap it round as long as you want. Make the knot small, or you can make it really long. I would suggest wrapping it round at least 5 times, just so that you've got somewhere for your knot to hide behind. So as you can see, I'm going around, I'm keeping it fairly tight, just so that it looks nice and neat and so it doesn't come undone. And round we go. As you can see at the bottom there's a little loop left. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the string through that loop. There we go, there's the little loop there. So put the string through the loop. And then we'll put it nice and tight. And then next thing you need to do is pull the little bit of string that you've left at the top there, and that pulls the knot through. You want to put it so the knot's about halfway through the gathering knot, so it's about halfway up. And that will keep it really nice and secure. And literally all you do is trim off the excess. So you trim off the top and trim off the bottom. Okay, so this is when the fun starts and we actually start seeing our plant hanger all come together. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to split all your cords into 3 groups of 4, which is what I'm doing now. And I'm just going to tuck some of them out of the way just while I'm working, just so that I don't get confused with which part I'm working on. So now we're working on a twisted half square knot. So the way we do that is we take your left hand string and fold it across the 2 middle strings like a number 4. And then the right hand string comes underneath that one, behind the 2 middle and through the gap that you've left. And then you pull it tightly. So what this will do is it will start to twist round, and it adds a really nice effect to your plant hanger. So showing you again, you take your left string, cross it over the middle 2 like a number 4. And then with your right hand string, you're going over the top of the end of your number 4, behind the 2 middle ones and through the gap left by your left hand string, and then pulling it tight. And you just keep continuing this. I've done 20 half square knots on this one, but you can make as many as you like, but just obviously bear in mind of how much string you've got left. Make sure you've got enough left at the end to hold your plant pots. So the easiest way to remember is that your 2 outside strings are the working strings, and one way I find it easier to put it nice and tight is to sort of hold the 2 middle strings with my little finger and my ring finger. Just helps with the tension, holding it nice and tight so that you can pull the string nice and tight and make a really nice beautiful knot. Usually when I get to about sort of knot 5, I then flip the strings around so that you're always working on the front, and that just gives it that nice twist. And yeah, just keep going with that for as long as you like. And as I say, I've done 20 knots. So when when you finished your 20 knots on that side, we are literally just going to take the next set of 4 strings and do it all over again. So again, using your left hand string first, crossing it over like a number 4, then putting your right hand string over the tail of your left string, behind the 2 middle strings and through the gap left on the left. I hope that makes sense. And then pulling it tight and again doing another 20 knots. Okay, so I've tried to come in nice and close for this last set of 4, just so I can show you one more time, just to make sure that I'm showing clearly enough how to do that half square knot. So your left hand string is coming over the 2 middle ones, your right hand string is going behind the 2 middle strings and through the gap left on the left. I'm not very good at explaining, so I'm hoping I've done justice for that. And then we're just going to hold the 2 middle strings and pull it up tight, just like that. There we go. Lovely. And again, just continuing for another 20 knots. Okay, so now that that top bit is done, what I've done is I've just moved my rail up a little bit, so sorry you can't see the top anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a pretty little design about halfway down. So you want to measure sort of a good 4 inches or so down from your twisted square knot. And we're going to take the middle and the right string from one of your twisted knots, and then the left and the middle from another. And we're going to join those ones together with a square knot. So this starts exactly the same way as your twisted knot before, but we're doing a different way on the underneath so that it completes the square. So you start by crossing over your left hand string and putting your right hand string over it, behind the middle and through the gap on the left. And then you do it the other way around again. You do your right hand string over the middle 2, then the left hand string goes over the right hand string, behind the middle 2, and then through the gap left on the right. So I've done 1 square knot here, and I'm just adding a bead, and I find the easiest way to add these on is to kind of twist them. You can always thread your cord through a needle and pop that through a bead, or you can tie a little bit of string on the end and pull it through that way, however you find it easiest really. And I'm just going to put that all the way up to my square knot. And then I'm going to do another square knot underneath just to hold that in place. So again, crossing over from the left, going over the left hand, behind the middle 2 and through the left hand hole, pulling it tight, and then back the other way. So with the right hand string over the middle 2, left hand string goes over, under, through. And there you have it. So I've now moved the rail up again so we can work on the bottom section, and this is the section that your plant pot is actually going to sit in, and we're going to create sort of a net bag effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to slightly change the cords we're working on again. We're going to use the middle and the right hand side from one, and then the middle and the left hand side from the other, and we're going to join those two together with a square knot. And I'm just going to go around and do that on all 3 sections. So it should start to come together quite nicely and look like a little nice net bag or net pocket for your plant pot to sit in. Okay, so once we've done one layer of square knots, we're then going to move down just a couple of inches and do another round of square knots. And again, we're using the 2 strings from each section again to make another 4. So your middle and your right, and then the left and the middle. And we're making another square knot. Now this part you can fully customize to whatever sort of plant pot you have, whether it's a big one or a small one. I usually just play it by eye and hope for the best, but obviously if you really wanted to, you could bring your plant pot in at this point and you could sort of measure around it, and you could even knot around it if you wanted to, just to make sure you're going to get that perfect fit. I do tend to find that as long as you leave a good couple of inches between each knot, that it will fit most sizes. But obviously if you've got a really large pot, then you would definitely need to measure up and make sure that you've got enough space for it to sit in the little pocket. Now you do want to try and keep all your knots at a similar sort of level, just so that the pot will sit sort of nice and square in your plant hanger. It's not a big problem if you find that one's slightly off. You can undo the knot like I'm doing here and slightly adjust where it's sitting, just so that it looks a bit straighter and it just looks a bit neater. So it's now time to finish our plant hanger, and we're going to do that with another gathering knot. So with another 100cm length of string, we just pop it up against the plant hanger and wrap 3 fingers round. Pull the string up to create a loop and then hold on to that. I've probably left a bit too much at the top there, so it did keep flopping over and trying to get wrapped up, but trying to make sure that it does stay out of the way so that you've still got it there to pull your knot through. And then just keep wrapping round until you're happy with the length of your gathering knot. Just exactly the same as at the top of our plant hanger. Keep going. I basically go pretty much until the end of the loop that I've made. So it's a nice long square knot. And then one thing I would suggest is, while you're pulling the knot through, is to sort of shuffle the gathering knot down a little bit, just so it doesn't all bunch up, and it keeps it nice and straight and nice and neat. Apologies for the camera angle as well. I didn't quite get it in the right place for this, but hopefully you can just about see. It's going through the little loop there, pulling it nice and tight, and then pulling the string through to secure the knot. And then I just cut off the excess at the top. The bottom bit, I actually just leave it there, and I cut all the other strings to the same length, and it just adds a little bit of a thicker sort of fringe hanging down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your plant hanger complete. I hope you enjoyed making it, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thanks for watching.